So we'll continue one half of the class with the same maths problem. So yesterday, what we did question number 1, we did question number 2, and we did question number 5. Can we go ahead and try doing question number 8, please? Now here again, when we are solving the question, there should be two things that should be very clear. That this is a S type of a question, and there is no information given to you in the question. So two things before you solve any question should be very clear to you, that whether it's a S type or what type, and what structure of the question is this. What structure means, whether it's a direct questions or there are some information given to you in the question. So can you please try question number 8? It's a S type. It's a pretty direct question. There is no information given at all. Hi Ankit, can you hear me?
Yeah, Rahul, I can hear you.
Perfect. Question number 8, Ankit, please try. What the answer? Sathak?
C.
C. Anyone else? Great. Your answer?
No,
Rohini,
Rahul.
Sanskriti? Sanskriti, your answer? Sapna? Answers, please. Jana? So question is pretty straightforward, guys. Are x and y positive? It means is x greater than 0 and y greater than 0. Simple, straightforward logic. That's given to you. So option number 1 says what? 2x minus 2y is equal to 1. That is nothing but technically x minus y is equal to half. Am I right? Anyone, any problem, please tell me. Sapna, is this clear? Now, my question is x greater than 0 and y greater than 0? Yes or no? So imagine if I take x as 1, y as half. Do I get it half? What I have, x and y both positive. Great. Is this clear?
Yeah.
If I take x as minus half, y as negative 1, do you think I'm still getting half? X and y both negative, but x minus y is still half, right? So I have a yes situation over here. I have a no situation over here. So I say this statement is not sufficient. Am I right? Anyone, any problem over here? Jana, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Spurs, any problem here? So now, when I come into statement number 2, it says x over y is greater than 1. Now, I have told you two cases yesterday itself. What do you mean by a fraction greater than 1? I can have two cases for sure. Case 1, when x and y are positive. Then for a fraction x over y to be greater than 1, can I say x should be greater than y? Right? Anyone, any problem here? Case 2, when x and y are negative, then for a fraction x over y to be greater than 1, can I say x should be less than y? Yes or no? Right? Any problem here? So what I see, x and y are positive here. It's a yes situation. X and y is negative here. It's a no situation. And despite that, x over y is greater than 1. So absolutely, when this is not sufficient to answer the question. Am I right? And this is some very beautiful question, guys. So option number 1 is not sufficient. Option number 2 is not sufficient. I hope it's clear. Anyone who is not clear with this, please tell. Agreed. Now, how do you combine? Now, combination part is one thing that will create a problem, but that will be 100% in In course of time, it will get very clear. So Sarthak, how did you combine it?
So, so that's 2x minus 2y equals to 1. So I put the value of x from here, like 2y plus 1 by 2 in the second equation.
That's fine. That's also fine. But you have tried to solve it, right?
So my second equation is coming 2y plus 1 by y is greater than 2. So only for the possible values of y greater than 0, this is coming. And if y is greater than 0, then x value is also
Has
be.
to be greater than 0. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But how can you combine this statement without touching pen and paper? Considering, is this understood to everyone what we have done right now? Sapna, is this clear? Sanskriti, any problem here? Sudarshana, any problem? Jana, Yash, any problem? In
Clear,
saying y
clear.
is not sufficient? Now imagine, Sarthak, from here, can I say x is equal to nothing but y plus half? We know that option number 1 is not sufficient, but can I conclude that x is equal to y plus half? Anyone has any problem?
No.
And what can you conclude from this, please? What is the conclusive from, like, let's say if I've given you a statement x is equal to y plus half, and I ask you to draw a conclusion, what conclusion can you draw from here? Please tell me.
X is greater than y.
Absolutely. Can I 100% say x is greater than y? Because this statement says x is greater than y by half. So you put x, y is equal to 100, x will be 100 and half. You put y is equal to minus 1, x will be minus half. So whatever value of y you put over here, that doesn't matter at all. But technically, in all the situations, you will be getting x is greater than y. Am I very sure about it? Anyone has any doubt over here? Please tell. So from statement number 1, Sarthak, you get x greater than y. From statement number 2, you get x greater than y also, x less than y also. If I have to normally combine, I can say x greater than y common term out, and for x greater than y, x and y are positive. You don't have to touch your pen and paper to combine this. So you can mark answer C. But this is something which I cannot expect everyone you to do it immediately on an immediate basis. So what I have told, imagine this is something that you don't know, because this will happen slowly and gradually when you solve good number of questions. Automatically these things will come in your head. You don't have to worry how it will happen. It will surely happen. But the point here is now, if you don't know to combine it in this way, how do you combine? I've told you in yesterday's class that if you are trying to combine something and there are two equations given to you, then your job is nothing but to solve the equations. Imagine the first equation is x is equal to y plus half from here. The second equation is x over y greater than 1. So combination of two equations are, guys, nothing but solving those two equations. What you can do is you can put value of x that is equal to y plus half from statement number 1 to 2. So when you put this from statement number 1 to 2, what do you get? You get y plus half over y greater than 1. I have done nothing. I've just put value of x from here to statement number 2. That is y plus half by y greater than 1. Now what can I get? Y over y plus half y greater than 1. Y over y is nothing but 1. 1 gets cancelled. You are left with 1. 1 over 2y greater than 0. Am I right? So 1 over 2y will be greater than 0 when? Only when y is greater than 0. And if y is greater than 0, option number 2 says me x over y is greater than 1. 100% x should be greater than 0. Technically, x should be greater than y as well. Am I right? Anyone, any problem, please tell me. Giri, is this clear? Rahul, any problem here? Yes.
No, it's clear. It's clear.
Yes, is this clear?
Yes.
Perfect. So we can mark answer C now, but technically this is a question that you should not even have combined it. You should have looked into the entire solutions and you could have easily told C would be the right answer, because this gives you a logic that x is greater than y. You know, in option number 2, you have x greater than y also, x less than y also, x greater than y common term out, and for x greater than y, x and y are positive. Simple, straightforward logic. Am I right? Can we go ahead and do question number 9, please? This is an easy one. Please take your time, take a minute, and let every one of you please do it. Do it wrong or right, it doesn't matter at all. Take 2 minutes for this. Question number 9. Because I promise, if you have a good command in data sufficiency of algebra, problem solving will be a joke for you. And I'll show it to you. I have a good number of problem solving questions also here.
C.
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 It's C.
A.
C. C.
Perfect. Anyone else? Giri, Ankit, answers please. So see here, guys. It simple says the question is this type. There is no information given to you. So we don't have to do anything. We just have to think on the question. Please ensure have a habit of thinking on the question. Why not your thought process is just one statement doesn't matter at all. There is no information given in this question whatsoever. So my question is 1 over P greater than R over R square plus 2. Now, before I before I get into the statement, my job is to 100% think. Just tell me one thing. When can you say 1 over P is greater than R by R square plus 2? When will you be able to conclude this? When can you conclude this that 1 by P is greater than R by R square plus 2? Until you don't know the value of P and R, you can't conclude it, right?
Right.
You have to know the value of P and R to come down to your conclusion whether 1 by P is greater than R by R square plus 2. So there should be one line thought process on the question before you get into the statements for sure. Now imagine my first statement. Now, when I've known this, when it's very clear to me until I don't know the value of P and R, I will not be able to conclude it. Now, option number one says me P is equal to R. So imagine P is equal to R is equal to 1. Let's say this. So what is the case I'm getting? 1 by 1 is greater than 1 by 1 plus 2. That is nothing but 1 is greater than 1 by 1 by 3. I have a yes situation with me. It's straightforward logic. Now imagine I take P is equal to R is equal to negative 1. So I have 1 over negative 1 greater than negative 1 over negative 1 whole square plus 2. That is negative 1 is greater than negative 1 by 3, which is the no situation because in negative side, higher the value, lesser the higher the magnitude, lesser the value. Simple logic. So negative 1 is greater than negative 1 by 3. I have a no situation. So I can say straight away not sufficient. Option number 2 says what? R is greater than 0. But technically saying R is greater than 0 gives us no idea about value of P. I can say you take P, R value, anything. It doesn't matter to me at all. 1 by P, I'll take 1 over 100. I'll get left side 100. So technically creating a yes and no situation in option number 2 is a second job because technically you have no idea about the value of P. It is not given to me in the question that P and R are integers. So I can take technically any value. You take any value of R, it doesn't matter to me at all. You take 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, infinity, doesn't matter. Based on what value you have taken, I can put one value of P and make it a greater than right hand side. I can put one value of P, make it less than right hand side. So this is straight away not sufficient. You don't have to use your head at all. Now you know that option number 1 is not sufficient. Option number 1 is not sufficient. You know option number 2 is not sufficient. And only then you are supposed to combine. And now when you combine, you say P is equal to R and R is greater than 0. It means that R greater than 0, you consider any number. Let's say R is equal to 10. But option number 1 says P is equal to R. So P is equal to R is equal to 10. Now you put any value, it just does not matter. You will always get this case for sure. If you put P is equal to R is equal to some positive number, 100% you are going to get this case for sure. Can I say it is C? Anyone, any doubt over here? Yes. Any problem? Sudarshana?
राहुल ये सेकंड सिचुएशन जो सेकंड स्टेटमेंट है इसको एक बार वापस एक्सप्लेन करना प्लीज.
It says R is greater than 0. My question is what, Giri? Is 1 by P greater than R by R square plus 2? What was our thought process? That until I don't know the value of P and R, I won't be able to conclude that 1 by P is greater than R by R square plus 2 or not, right?
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, the point second statement says R is greater than 0, Rahul. Now you take any value of R greater than 0. It does not matter to me. You calculate this. I'll tell you P is equal to 1 by 100,000. So 1 by P will become what? 100,000. And whatever number you take for R, it might be greater than this. I can take P is equal to 0.1. So it may be less than this. Right? Because you have no idea about P at all, Rahul. At all, Giri. Agreed?
Yeah.
And that's the reason I straight away say this is not sufficient because I have no idea about P. I will not be able to conclude that 1 by P is greater than R by R square plus 2 or not. Because I can easily create a yes and no situation. Right? And when you combine this statement, Giri, then P is equal to R is equal to 1. You will have 1 by 1 greater than 1 by. You take any positive number. It does not matter at all. 1 by P will always be greater than R by R square plus 2.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, Rohini, you have any problem?
No.
Put P is equal to R is equal to half. You will get P is greater than R by R square plus 2. Because when you put P, when you put P is equal to half, let's say, P is equal to R. So it says 1 by P greater than R by R square plus 2. So 1 by P will become what, Rohini? 2. Right? If I put P to half, it will become 2. Now here you put 2 by 4 plus 2. That is 2 by 6. That is 1 by 3. So 2 is greater than 1 by 3.
Yeah. Yes.
So you put any positive value, you will always say LHS is greater than RHS. And that's the reason I'm taking E as my answer. Is this clear?
No.
Any problem? Now, before we come down to question number 10, we'll have to do other questions. Let me do some very conceptually good questions of data sufficiency and equality. Conceptually, you will be very clear with how to approach a DS problem. Can we do question number 20, please? This is 2x minus 3y less than x square? The question is that. Please take a minute for this. I will do all the questions, but I'm doing it in a bit shattered way because you understand what the data sufficiency is. That's all. Please take 2 minutes. Answers, please. Sarthak, your answer. Giri, Rahul.
Each statement alone is sufficient. D.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Sapna, answers please. Sapna, any answer? Yes.
D.
I'm still doing it.
So check over here. It says that is 2x minus 3y. Gray, what is your answer? So simple. The question is very
I
straightforward.
was just trying the different values to be sure. Yeah, and it's D. Yeah.
So see here, the question is pretty simple, guys. It's a direct question. It's type of a question. So if it's a direct question, your job is 100% to think on the question before you get into the statements. You know that x square as a value can never be negative at all. It's always
Negative.
positive. The minimum value could be 0. And 2x minus, my question is asking is 2x minus 3y less than x square. The question is pretty simple. When can you conclude this? That 2x minus 3y is less than x square? Until you don't know the value of x and y, it is hard for you to conclude this question for sure. Now, I don't know whether my thought process will match with the statement or not. It doesn't matter at all, but this is the minimum that I can think on this question for sure. Now, option number 1 says me 2x minus 3y is equal to what? Negative
Minus
2. So minus 2 is for surely less than x square. There is an absolutely no thought process required at all. Nothing needs to be done with statement number 1. You should be in a position to conclude that statement number 1 is sufficient in hardly 10 seconds, not more than that. Because what is given to you is 2x minus 3y less than x square. And option number 1 says that 2x minus 3y is equal to negative 2. So if negative 2 has to be less than x square, irrespective of what the value of x square is, that is none of our business at all. Because x square as a number is always positive. The least value of x square can be 0. That's all. Agreed? Any problem here? Now let's come down to option number 2. X is greater than 2 and y is greater than 0. Now this is a place whatever we have thought is 100% aligned, because what we did that until we don't know the value of x and y, I can't conclude 2x minus 3y is less than x square or not. So it says x is greater than 2. Imagine you take some values. I love taking extreme values. You can take any value. So imagine x is equal to 100. Y is equal to 1. For this value, I can aram say no, 2x minus 3y is less than x square. That is 100 square. Simple, straightforward logic. Imagine I take value of y as 100. And it says that you have to take x greater than 2. I have taken x is equal to 3. Imagine. So now in this case, what will happen? 2x minus 3y. If you solve this, will you get a negative value or not? Put here 2 into x, that is 3. 6 minus 3 into 100. So 6 minus 300. You will get a negative value. And negative value is always less than x square. So you take any value that satisfies this statement. You will see that 2x minus 3y is always less than x square. A bit, how do you generalize it? You can learn in this way. Imagine this is 2x minus 3y. If you take value of y more than value of x, simple, straightforward logic, you will get a negative value. Imagine what did I do? I did y is equal to 100, x is equal to 3. So moment this expression is written 2x minus 3y. If you take value of y, which is you have to take positive value because this is given to you in statement number 2. You should respect the statement when you are trying to solve a question. X is greater than 2, y is greater than 0. So if you take a positive value y greater than x, 2x minus 3y will always yield a negative value, and a negative value has to be less than x square. Simple, straightforward logic. So answer, even this is sufficient. So we'll go ahead with the answer D. Anyone who didn't follow it?
Rahul,
Yeah.
I just think of doing it other way. That
Yes.
First equation is clearly visible. Now with coming to second equation, since 2x minus 3 x greater than 2 and y greater than 0. So in any case, if it is negative, x square is always positive.
Yep.
So, and in other case, when it is positive, then for any x greater than 2, all squares are always positive.
Right.
So by looking, we need not to go for putting the values also for second
That's
equation.
okay. That's okay. That's 100% okay. But essentially, you're trying to generalize right in the first place itself. That's also a good thing. But it's always better initially you do it once. Look into how the numbers are behaving. That's all. You take number, you try to create a yes or no situation. Even if you're 100% sure that this is sufficient, just to understand how the behaviors of numbers are there, Rahul. So I would say ki just once get it done, take 2-3 values, see exactly what is happening, and then you are free to conclude. Obviously, you can conclude in that way, no issues at all. That's fine. Agreed? Can we do question number 19, please? This is statement number 2, by the way. Please take 2 minutes for this. I'm making you solve all the direct questions, and when there is no information given to you, we'll also come down to the question where some information is given to you.
It's C.
C. Okay.
Yeah, answer is C.
Perfect. Anyone else?
I'm also getting C.
So guys, one thing that we can do in such questions is that you can 100% go ahead and start solving directly with the questions. But for me, it's extremely important that I make questions very much convenient for myself. So I play around with the questions till I'm not very sure, till I don't have authority on the question. So what I exactly do here is that is P square Q greater than PQ square? I see that both the variables are same on both the sides of the inequality sign. It's PQ on the left, PQ on the right. So for me, I would do is that I'll bring it on the left hand side. P square Q minus PQ square is greater than 0. And now I would say is PQ into P minus Q is greater than 0. Now the question seems to be completely in my authority because now I'm just trying to do is AB greater than 0 or not. Means the sign of A and B same or not. That is technically sign of PQ and P minus Q same or not. Option number 1 says me what? PQ is less than 0. Option number 1 says me that A is negative. But just by knowing that PQ is less than 0, can I conclude anything about P minus Q?
No.
Imagine if let's say P is equal to 1 and Q is equal to let's say minus 1. So P minus Q becomes what? It becomes 1 plus 1, that is 2. P minus Q becomes a positive number. Imagine if P is negative 1, Q is positive 1. P minus Q will become what? This is negative 1, that is negative 2. It becomes a negative number. So just by knowing that PQ greater than 0, I have no idea about P minus Q at all. It can be positive, it can be negative. So what I have to prove? Is PQ into P minus Q greater than 0 or not? It means technically you have to just prove that is PQ into P minus Q are of same signs or not. So just by knowing that PQ is less than 0, I can't confirm that P minus Q can be positive, it can be negative. So option number 1 is not sufficient. It's straightforward logic. Is that very clear? Second says P is less than 0, but this doesn't give me any idea about the sign of Q. So I can straight away say this is not sufficient for sure. But when I combine this, what do I get? It says PQ is less than 0. It says P is less than 0. If I combine it, do I get P less than 0? That is P is equal to negative and Q is equal to positive. Tell me this, please. Can I 100% conclude after combination? Any problem, Sapna? Sana, any problem here? The
No, sir.
combination part says that P is negative and Q is positive. Now, if P is negative and Q is positive, what is P minus Q? You always get a negative term.
Negative.
And PQ, you anyway know that this is negative. So combination will solve your problem. So answer should be C. Is that clear, Yash?
Yes, it's clear.
Perfect.
Please repeat the last thing you were saying.
Yes, super. So see over here, P minus Q, when you are combining, it says PQ is less than 0 and P is less than 0, right? So if I combine these two statements, Yash, these two statements, what do I get? Can I say P is negative and Q is positive?
Yeah.
If P is negative and Q is positive, what is P minus Q? It's gonna be always negative term.
Yeah.
And you know anyway from option number 1 that PQ is negative, right?
Hmm.
So if PQ is negative, P minus Q is negative, then can I 100% conclude that PQ into P minus Q is always greater than 0? So answer is C.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Anyone else who has a problem here? Ankit, is this clear? Bhaskari, any problem here? Giri, any problem?
No.
No problem.
Perfect. Let's come down to question number 18. It's a good question. Please try. Yeah.
See again.
C. Any other answer? Sarthak, what is your answer?
I'm doing.
Okay.
May I, Rahul?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So the first question, it's not exactly a doubt. I'm just trying to break a stupid tendency of mine, where you had displayed a question of x minus y equals half, and then x by
Yeah.
y greater than 1. Remember?
Yes, yes.
And I have this bad tendency of you. I know you asked us not to cross multiply when we don't know if
If
x
you
and
don't
y are
know that X and
positive
Y are
integers, this for
positives, you
sure.
should not do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I just have this bad tendency of first, like for example, x by y is greater than 1. So the first thing I'll tend to do is x is greater than y.
No, that you should not be
I
doing.
am not able to some. I
Until it
should.
is
Yeah.
explicitly
I need
mentioned in the
some. Yeah. Please go ahead.
until it is explicitly mentioned to you in the question that variable is positive, you should not be doing that at all, Bhaskari.
I get that. So, but the moment you went ahead with solving, I realized the blunder I did. So, I need some nuska, to help me remember that I shouldn't do that.
No, it's simple.
Can you
If
help
until
me
it
with
is not
something?
mentioned, you should not be doing it. Simple logic. There's nothing to be
Okay. So,
that I have been doing it. You have been
uh,
doing it, it's okay. But you should not be doing it until it is mentioned to you in the question that variable is positive.
okay. So, can I keep it this way? Like, the first thing is I should arrive at solutions and not try to uh, cross multiply. Just something for me to hook on and avoid that blunder that I
No,
usually
it's
do.
not about something. It's just that until it is not mentioned there that variable is positive, you should not do it. If you are doing it, you are doing something wrong. That's it. That your mind should say you it is wrong.
Okay, ठीक है. All right.
So see
Okay.
here, it says P is less. Yeah.
I got B.
Please tell me. Anyone else?
None of these.
Okay, we'll look into this. So, Sarthak, what is your answer?
I have a small doubt.
None of these.
Can
Yes,
Q
Varshit.
and R either be 0?
No, it says QR is less than 0. It cannot be 0.
Okay.
Rahul,
Yeah.
either of the statement is not sufficient, but I am by joining the
Perfect. Let's do it. Let's do it. So the question says there are bit of information given to you. P is less than Q and P is less than R. My question is what? Is PQR less than P? So moment you see PQR less than P, Bhaskari, you cannot cut this P and this P. It's a pretty simple
Exactly.
logic that is
Correct.
given to you.
Yes.
Is it written anywhere PQR is positive? No. If
No.
it
it
is
can
not
only
written, you
happen
should
when
not.
P is greater than 0, right?
Yep. So can I say my question is PQR minus P less than 0? That is nothing but
Yes.
is P into QR minus 1 is less than 0. This is my question now. Now the question is complete under my authority. Is A cross B less than 0? Where A is P, B is QR minus 1. So option number 1 says me that PQ is less than 0. But what is given to me, I've told you, if there is some information given to you in the question, guys, this is not to beautify the question. This information needs to be used while you're solving the statement. It's as simple as
Right.
it is.
Right.
So it says PQ is less than 0. What is given to me in the information is P is less than Q. Means can I say P is negative and Q is positive? Can I
Right.
do
Right.
this? But this gives me no idea about R. So I can say this is not sufficient. Simple, straightforward logic. Am I right? Because I have no idea about R. I just know that P is negative. I know Q is positive. I don't know what is the value of R. If I don't know the value of R, or if I don't know the sign of R, it's you can easily create a yes and no situation. That's all. Please ensure that you do create a yes and no situation. Second says PR is less than 0. What I know here in the question that P is less than R, it simple means that P is negative, R is positive. Am I right?
Right.
Because the information says P is less than R, statement number 2 says PR is less than 0. But from this particular place, I have no idea about Q. I can say this is not sufficient straightforward logic. Because if I don't know sign of Q, it is tough for me to say that PQ, P into QR minus 1 is positive or negative. I don't know about it. Now what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to combine all these statements. So when I combine both the statements, these two statements, PQ less than 0 and PR less than 0, can I 100% say after combining P is negative, Q is positive, and R is positive? Anyone has
Right.
any doubt? No, right? Now P is negative, Q is positive, R is positive. My job is to create a situation is P into QR minus 1 less than 0 or not. Imagine I have taken P as negative 1, Q as 2, R as 3. For these values, I can say P into QR minus 1 is less than 0, right? You can check it for yourself. P is minus 1, QR is what? 3 into 2, 6, 6 minus 1 is 5, minus 1 into 5 is minus 5, which is less than 0. But what I have told you, okay, whenever you are taking a number, ensure that you try and generalize the way you consider number. So when you are considering number, when you are taking number, 100% question should be in your head. You cannot deviate from the question, because if you keep doing randomly something, it will keep going. Then again, you will come and tell me, Rahul, I have taken 5 sets of a number or 6 sets of a number, which you are not supposed to take it at all. Your job is to look is P into QR minus 1 less than 0 or not. I have taken a number PR minus 1, Q2, R3. I have created a situation P into QR minus 1 is less than 0. But imagine what we have, Q positive, R positive. Imagine if I take a number P is equal to negative 1, Q is equal to 1, R is equal to 1. Why did I take this? Because it says QR minus 1. If I take Q1, R1, QR minus 1 becomes 0. So negative 1 into 0 is equal to 0, which is a no situation. This is a yes situation. When I took P as negative 1, Q as 2, R as 3, I've got P into QR minus 1 less than 0. When I took P as negative 1, Q as 1, R as 1, I've got P into QR minus 1 equal to 0. So I have a yes and no situation, not sufficient for sure. Am I right? Any problem here? Please tell.
Okay.
Any problem, Bhaskari? So answer is going to be E, because you have for A, you have a yes and no situation. For B, you have a yes and no situation. For C, you have a yes and no situation. So your answer goes to E. This question cannot be answered with the help of two statements. Right? Any problem here?
It's clear.
Can we solve question number 15, please? So this is one question that can be solved in 1 second. It can be solved in, 20 seconds. I can say you. It can also take you 2 minutes. And if you get a little bit confused, you can end up taking 5 minutes as well. So please try question number 15. Jana, things are clear? Spurs,
Yes, sir.
Varsha,
Sir.
perfect. Take 2 minutes, try question number 15, please.
It's B.
Okay. Sarthak, what's your answer?
It's B.
B.
Sapna, your answer? So it says simple. Is M greater than N? Now these are two different elements. This is a pretty direct question. There is no information whatsoever is given to you over here. Absolutely no information at all. So my job is what? Is M greater than N? The moment I look into this statement here, they say that N minus M and N minus M. Do I have a liberty of changing questions for a while? Can I change my question? Because you must learn to play around with the questions for sure, guys. That's something which is important. Moment you see here N minus M and N minus M, can I learn to play? Can I say my question? Can I reduce my question to is M minus N greater than 0? Or can I, if I multiply negative, can I reduce my question to is N minus M less than 0? Now, whether you go and do this question or you do this one or you did this one, this is eventually all the stuffs are same. Sorry. Am I right? Anyone, any problem over here? So my question is N minus. I will go ahead with this question. Why? Because my statements are given in this term. So my question is N minus M less than 0. Option number 1 says me what? That N minus M is greater than negative 2. If N minus M is greater than negative 2, it can be equal to negative 1. It can be equal to 2. So when it is equal to negative 1, it's a yes situation less than 0. When it is equal to 2, it's a no situation not less than 0. So I can say this is not sufficient. Is it clear? Yes. Any problem here?
No problem.
Now option number 2 says what? That N minus M is greater than 2. If N minus M is greater than 2, N minus 1 will never be less than 0. So it's a confirm no answer. Am I right? Varsha, is this clear? Any problem
Yeah.
here? Zaina, any problem?
No, sir.
Perfect. Now this is a way that you can mark answer B, but there's a different way to also do this question. See here, I'll just tell you. If at all sometime you are getting confused, a lot of time it might happen that my question now is changed to is N minus M less than 0. This is what I've changed my question to. Now you check here N minus M. The question says statement 1 has N minus M, statement 2 has N minus M. So that you are not confused, what you can do here is that you can just assume, let's say N minus M is equal to X. But the assumptions can be only made when the expressions right from the question to all the statements are same, only then. So if I assume that I've assumed, let's say N minus M is equal to X. Now my question changes to what? is x less than 0. Option number 1 becomes what? X plus 2 greater than 0. Option number 2 becomes what? X minus 2 greater than 0. That's it. Now, my question is x less than 0? Option number 1 says x plus 2 is greater than 0. That means x is greater than minus 2. And if x is greater than minus 2, it can be negative 1, it can be 3, 4, 5, whatever. So, when it is negative 1, it's a yes situation that x is less than 0. When it is 3, 4, 5, it's a no situation that x is not less than 0. So, I can say this is not sufficient for sure. Option number 2 says x is greater than 2. If x is greater than 2, x will never be less than 0. So it's a confirmed no answer. Is asking is your name Rahul, you have a no answer to it. Simple sir logic. Understood? So B is the right answer. Can we do one very interesting question here? Question number 16. Please take your time. The question is very easy one. Very easy one. But it all depends how you are doing it. So please take 2 minutes. Try doing it. I'm making you solve all the direct questions. I'll come down to the questions where some information is given to you in the question.
C.
C. Anyone else? Bhaskar, your answer?
C. Here too, I'm getting C.
Sudarshana, yes. Zana? Sapna, answers please. Question is simple. It's just that you have to understand a bit. That's all. Question says what? If x is an integer, is 3 to the power x less than 500? Now just think, when is this condition possible? Because you can't go ahead with this question, is 3 to the power x less than 500? Else you're gone. You're screwed up royally. You cannot do that at all. So just think about, when is this condition possible? Simple. Imagine if x is equal to 1. 3 to the power 1 is what? 3. If x is equal to 2, 3 to the power 2 is 9. If x is equal to 3, 3 to the power 3 is 27. 3 to the power 4, 81. 3 to the power 5, multiply 3, you will get 243. 3 to the power 6, 729. My question is what? Is x 3 to the power x less than 500? Now for 3 to the power x to be less than 500, can I say x should be less than 100%? X should be less than 6 for sure. If x is less than 6 only, then 3 to the power x has to be less than 500, no? Else it won't be. Right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So can I change my entire question to, is x less than 6? I'm not bothered about 3 to the power x less than 500. That's a very different situation given to you. You have to reduce the questions based on your own convenience. Always remember that. Learn to play around with the questions for sure. Now my question comes, is x less than 6? Simple, straightforward logic. It is at all not these things. I'm just erasing all this stuff. Now statement number 1 is what? 4 to the power x minus 1 less than 4 to the power x negative 120. This is statement number 1 I have. Now, obviously, I should try and solve it if at all it is possible to solve. 4 to the power x minus 1, can I say 4x by 4? I have done nothing. I have just a to the power m minus n. I have done a to the power m by a to the power n. This is the exponent rule. So 4 to the power x minus 1, I have done 4 to the power x over 4 to the power 1. 4 to the power 1 is 4. which is less than, and I'll chalo less than 4 to the power x negative 120. I'll bring 4x on one side, 4x by 4 minus 4 to the power x less than negative 120. Now I'll take 4x common. I'll get 1 by 4 negative 1 less than negative 120. And 1 by 4 negative 1 means what? Minus 3 by 4. So negative 3 by 4 into 4 to the power x less than negative 120. So can I say 4x is greater than negative? So first of all, do one thing. Multiply negative on both the sides. What will happen? Sign will change. And after that, can I cross multiply? Saying 120 cross 4 by 3. Now, Bhaskari, this is a number I can cross multiply. But if it's a variable, you can't cross multiply. Simple logic. So this says that 3, 4, that is 4x is greater than 160. All I'm trying to ask you, tell me when 4 to the power x will be greater than 160. So 4 to the power 1 is 4, 4 to the power 2 is 16, 4 to the power 3 is 64, 4 to the power 4 is 256. So for 4x to be greater than 160, x should be greater than 3. Am I right? So please try and understand this entire situation that they are trying to say you over here. 4 to the power x minus 1 less than 4x negative 120. This is only possible when x is greater than 3. They could have written straight away statement number 1 as x is greater than 3. But instead of writing x greater than 3, they have given you one expressions which you need to evaluate for yourself. So this is not a tough thing. Please understand. Am I right? So this entire equation of statement number 1, which says 4 to the power x minus 1 less than 4x negative 120, it only means that x is greater than 3, nothing else at all. If you solve it by what we have done, you should be getting just this value, that x is greater than 3. Am I sure? Anyone, any problem here? Rohini, Sapna, any problem? Sarthak?
No, no.
Perfect. So x is greater than 3. This is all, these are the stuff that can be removed out from here. This is all crap. So technically what it means here is, statement number 1 says x is greater than 3. Statement number 2 says, so my question is what? Please tell me this. My question is x less than 6? Statement number 1 is x is greater than 3. Now tell me, is this sufficient or not?
Sufficient.
Not sufficient,
No,
right?
no, sufficient.
Insufficient.
Because my question says is x less than 6. Option number 1 says x is greater than 3. X can be 4, which is less than 6. X can be 10, which is greater than 6. So I can tell you x less than 6. Option number 1 is not sufficient. Option number 2 says what? X is equal to plus 6 or minus 6. Simple logic. So when you take x is equal to plus 6, x is not less than 6. You have a no situation. When you take x is equal to negative 6, you have a yes situation that x is less than 6. So you have a yes and no situation, not sufficient. It's straightforward logic. Agreed? Now, option number 1 says x is greater than 3. Option number 2 says x is equal to plus 6 or minus 6. If you combine this, what do you get? Do you get x is equal to 6? And what is my question? Is x less than 6? Option after combination, I get x is equal to 6. So it's a confirm no answer. So it is C. So imagine the question they have twisted a lot, but technically this is what the question is. Is x less than 6? Statement number 1 says x is greater than 3. Statement number 2 says x is equal to plus 6 or minus 6. That's all. So if you can simplify the question, it becomes very simple. Very simple technically. Am I right? Any problem? Anybody? Please tell. Can we do question number 14? It's an easy one. Okay, let's do question number 14 and then I'll come down to the place where some information is given to you. The last question one, this is a direct question. Is type of a problem. Can you please try doing this question? So it's all even power. You can say even powers are not predicted. And mark your answer. But please don't do that. Perfect. Rohini, E. Okay. Anyone else? Answers, please. Sarthak, Sparsh, Sudarshana, Sapna, answer. Yes. What is the answer? It simple says that is x greater than y. Option number 1 says x square is greater than y. I think in yesterday's class I have told you if x square is greater than y, x could be greater than y or x could be less than y. You can just look for this also, like imagine take x is equal to 5, y is equal to 4. Now 5 square is greater than 4. 5 is greater than 4, that is x is greater than y. If I say x is equal to 3, y is equal to 4, I can still say 3 square is greater than 4, but technically 3 is less than 4. So if x square is greater than y, x can be greater than y or x can be less than y. I can say this is not sufficient, right? Option number 2 is exactly same. It says root of x greater than y, and roots are always positive in GMAT. Roots are always positive in GMAT, so you can 100% square it, Sarthak. So if you square it, x square is less than y. That is nothing but y square. So if I square it, I get x is less than y square. That is nothing but y square is greater than x. If y square is greater than x, y could be greater than x or y could be less than x. So again, this is not sufficient. Now you have two statements which are not sufficient for sure. Agreed? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to combine x square greater than y square greater than x. So I have two equations. And I have told you how do you combine two equations. Your simple job of combination of two equations is to just solve those two equations. That's it. And how do I solve it? I may add, I may subtract. Here I'm trying to add it. It says x square plus y square is greater than x plus y. Now imagine if I take x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3. Can I say x square plus y square is greater than x plus y? Yeah, I can. 16 plus 9 is greater than 4 plus 3. Imagine if I take x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4. Can I still say x square plus y square is greater than x plus y? Yeah, 9 plus 16 is greater than 3 plus 4. Simple logic. So that's the reason you mark answer E. Am I right? Anyone, any problem here? Please tell. Any problem here? I hope it's clear. Now, can we do one question? This might make you mad for sure, but still. Question number 10. Now, this is a question, guys, where some information is given to you. And then the question is being asked, is x an even integer? And then you have statement number 1 and 2. So what is the question? The type of a question is this type. The structure is that there is a beautiful information given to you. And if there is information given to you, it is not to beautify the questions. 100% you need to use this information while you're solving the statement. Can you please take 2 minutes and try question number 10?
It's A.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Sarthak, what's your answer?
A
Shapna?
little time, just a little time.
Yeah, please take your time. Rahul, A is a wrong answer. Try again.
D.
Okay. Anyone else answer? Ankit? Rohini? Shapna? Any answer? Zana?
Is the answer
Sir,
C?
I got A as well because the first condition is sufficient for which answer.
Check here now. So please understand, this is not a direct question for sure. There's information which is given to you over here. One second, guys. One sec, please. So this is not a direct question, guys. The question says that is X an even integer? Okay. Now there's a bit of information that is given to you, xy plus z is an odd integer. First of all, please understand one thing. If you go ahead and try normal number, because the question might seem very easy to you. The beauty about GMAT questions are this, that question might seem very easy to you, but trust me, it's a classy, one of the toughest type of a question that you can have in the exam. And this is the whole sort of a trap that they have made for you, that they have given you xy plus z is an odd integer. This is information they have given. And then they're asking you, is x an even integer? Now there is a statement number 1 that is given to you, that xy plus xz is an even integer. So if at all you try and take a number, you should ensure that your number should satisfy this particular statement. The same number should satisfy this particular information. And then you go ahead and conclude whether x is a even or odd, which will be a very time taking process. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now, you can use it anywhere in data sufficiency. It does not matter at all that this is an equality chapter or this is absolute value chapter or number system. You can technically use these questions anywhere. And this is a question of a number system, by the way. It's not an equality question. So see here, if there is an information that is given to you in the question, and this information is in terms of an equation. If there is a statement that is given to you in the question, and this statement also is in terms of an equation, and this statement is also in terms of equation, what I have told you, that you have to use this information with the help, you have to use this information with a statement to solve the question. That's it. Informations are not given to beautify the question. Be very sure about it. Now, point is, how do you use this information? How do you use this information with the help of statement number 1 and 2? Please understand, if there is an equation given to you in the information, if there is an equation given to you in the statement, the only way to use two equations is to solve those two equations. It's straightforward logic. So what I try to do over here is xy plus z is odd. No, I think Rahul, you have told me the right answer. A is the right. I'm so sorry, man. I thought it was B, you said. So what I'm trying to do here is that I'm using this information with statement number 1. Both the informations are in terms of equation. So what do you mean by use both equations? The use both equations means all those two equations. It's as simple as it is. Now I'm trying to solve this equation. So it is x, I'm subtracting it. Xy gets cancelled. I'm left with xz minus z. Even minus odd is what? 3 minus 2, 1. That is odd. Am I right? Is this understood what I have done? Bhaskar, is this clear?
Yes, I made a small mistake in the second, while solving the second statement. So statement A is correct. A is correct.
Rahul,
Yeah.
I think better way to solve this question is not using the equation, using the logic itself. That xy plus xz is an even integer. If we take x common, y plus z is an even integer. When the product of two even can be even only. So we can say that x is an even. It is sure sort that x is even and y plus z is an even. Now sum of
No,
two.
the point is x can be odd and y plus z can be, this can be odd and this can be even. Then also we'll get a even. Why? Why are you just assuming that x could be even and y plus z could be even or odd? I can also assume that if x is odd, y plus z is even, you will still get a even integer. Right?
Right.
So you should not be doing that. You will be trapped there. It is 100% right because essentially you are trying to take numbers. It's no logic. You are trying to take numbers over here. So numbers that you take should satisfy statement number one, should satisfy the information, and then you go ahead and conclude. But you will not have so much of time in the exam. So what I'm trying to say that if there is a information that is given to you in the questions in terms of a equation, statement number one and statement number two are equation. Just close your eyes and solve those two equations. It will happen. Now what do I get? Xz minus z as odd. Even minus odd is what? Odd, right?
Even odd.
So take z common. You have x minus 1 odd. Now product of two numbers are odd when?
When both are odd.
Both are odd. So x minus 1 is odd. If x minus 1 is odd, x is nothing but odd plus 1, that is even. So this is sufficient. Now I'll do exactly the same thing with statement number 2. That y plus xz is an odd integer and xy plus z is again an odd integer. If I use these two equations, what I'm doing, if I subtract, nothing is happening. So I'll simply add it. You can add, you can even subtract it, doesn't matter at all. So what I'm doing is y plus xy plus xz plus z. Odd plus odd is what? 3 plus 3, 6 even. That is nothing but y, 1
This
plus
is where I
x,
made the mistake.
z, 1
Odd
plus
plus odd,
x
even.
is this even. So if you take 1 plus x as common, you are left with y plus z. That is even number. So its product of two numbers are even when? When this is even, this is even. When this is even, this is odd. When A is odd, B is
Odd
even. In all the case, you will get a even number. So 1 plus x can be even. If 1 plus x is even, x will become an odd number. 1 plus x can be odd. If 1 plus x is odd, x will become an even number because odd minus 1 will give you even. So in this case, x can be odd here and x can be even here as well. So this is not sufficient. Answer is A. This is the easiest way to approach such questions, remember. Because if you take numbers, no doubt you might feel that it's a very easy one. But if one set of numbers satisfies, all of us are tempted to take the second set of a number. And by the time you won't realize, 6-7 minutes of your exam time will go off. So the questions of GMAT, the way it is framed, it is not framed that you just succumb to the injurious front of the question that you have no idea. You will have all the ideas, but sometime it takes time. You just have to ensure that you don't give so much of time to any questions. Because if you give 5 to 6 minutes to one question, your entire exam is screwed up, which you should not be doing. So is this clear? Why A is the right answer?
Yes.
Any doubt over here? Sarthak, any problem here? Sudarshana, yes, any problem?
No problem.
And based on this, exactly if I ask you to solve some questions now, see how easy it will become. You are not supposed to think one bit of it, I'm telling you. Just look into the questions, and if you can exactly relate that there's a question given to you, and then there is information that is given to you, and then you have. Can you please try doing question number 17? Technically, if you have understood question number 10 well, it should not take you more of time. It should be pretty simply, it should be taken care of. Hardly 20 seconds.
A.
A.
Yes.
D. Absolutely fine, Zano.
It's
So
D.
see here, this is the information that is given to me, that R plus S is greater than 2t. And then the question is being
D.
asked, is R greater than t or not? Now the information is in terms of a equation here. My statements are in terms of equation. It should take me hardly 20 seconds just to put it here. R plus S is greater than 2t. Just solve it. If I add this, what happens? R plus S plus t greater than S plus 2t. Now this S can be cancelled out. I'm not cancelling it. I'm bringing it on the left hand side. It will become S minus S. So route. And t goes that side. So R is greater than t. Sufficient. You just have to close your eyes and believe on this method. It's not what I'm telling you, what I've told you, that if the information is given in terms of equation, statements are in terms of equation, irrespective of the question, can be from inequality, number system, absolute value, does not matter. If it will work at every place. Now, second is again same thing. R plus S is greater than 2t. It is given to me in the information. So I'll add this. I've got 2R plus S greater than S plus 2t. SS cancels out. 2R is greater than 2t. 2 cancels out, R greater than t. Sufficient. So my answer should be D to this. Right? Any problem here? Now, based on the same logic, can we solve one more questions? And this was my GMAT exam question. Exactly same value, everything remains the same. Options remains the same. Variables remains the same. This was my GMAT questions. Can you please try? Take 2 minutes. Now here it's a bit different thing. What the answer? Now here you can't add and subtract blindly, because information is very different than what the equations are given to you.
It's D.
D.
Option D.
Perfect. Varsha, answer?
D.
Okay.
From my side, it's D.
Sudarshana, answer? So it says what here? Check. It says MV is less than PV is less than 0. This is given to you. Now the question is asking, is V greater than 0? Straight away, I'll go to option number 2 because this looks to me very easy. It says MV is, because what is given to me? MV is less than 0, right? This is given to me in the question. That if MV is less than 0 and M is negative, V has to be positive, yes or no?
Right.
So sufficient. In 1 second. So whichever options you feel easy for yourself, go and attack that statement. You don't have to start with statement number 1 and then go to 2. So statement number 2, I'm done. V is 100% positive, makes sense to me. Now come down to statement number 1. Statement number 1 says M is less than P. And what is information is given to me? That MV is less than PV is less than 0. From this information, can I actually a bit come down to MV minus PV less than 0? Can I write this? Yes or no? I'm just playing around with my information. Please understand over here. Can I write this? Yes or no? You take any value.
Yes.
Let's say MV is less than PV is less than 0. Take any value. Let's say -10, less than -9, less than 0, whatever. But imagine if I bring -9 this side, -10 plus 9, it is technically less than 0. So MV minus PV will 100% be less than 0 for sure. Am I right? Now check. What is given to you? MV minus PV is less than 0. That is nothing but V into M minus P is less than 0. What is my statement number 1? That M minus P is less than 0. If M minus P is less than 0, V has to be positive, yes or no? The information that is given to me is that V into M minus P is less than 0. That is A, and B is less than 0. I know that B is negative. Then A should be positive. That is V should be greater than 0. Yes or no? Anyone who didn't understand, please tell.
Yep. Yep, it's clear.
Sarthak, any problem here? Yes.
No.
Sanskriti, any problem here?
No, Rahul.
Perfect. Can we do question number 12, please? Pretty simple one. One of the simplest question that you can get in the exam, but there's no logic involved. It's all about calculation.
B.
Yeah, perfect.
B is my answer here. B.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Can you mute yourself, Bhaskar? Some sound is coming. Perfect.
Yeah, it's an apartment. Outside sound. Sorry.
Zana B. Okay. Ankit, answers?
C.
C.
Yeah, C.
Check here. It says that 1 kilogram of a certain coffee consists of X kilogram of type 1 and Y kilogram of type 2. It means X plus Y consists of 1 kg coffee. That's it. Correct. This is the information that is given to me in the question. And this information they have given you in terms of a language. That's all. Now it says the cost of brand is $C per kilogram, where C is equal to 6.5x plus 8.5y. And the question is being asked, is x less than 0.8? That is my question over here. Option number 1 says me what? That y is greater than equal to 0.15. What is my question? Is x less than 0.8? Now, how do I get y in terms of x? Right from the information that is given to me. So it says x plus y is equal to 1. Why can I say y is equal to 1 minus x greater than 0.15? And that is nothing but minus x is greater than minus 0.85, where I can say if I multiply negative, x is less than 0.85. But if x is less than 0.85, x can be 0.81, which is greater than 0.80, and x can be 0.75, which is less than 0.80. I have a yes and no situation. I can say this is not sufficient. Am I right? Yes or no? Am I right? Now, second statement says me that C is greater than equal to 7.30. And what they have given, C is equal to what? 6.5. That means nothing but 6.5x plus 8.5y is greater than 7.30. Simple, straightforward logic. Now, when I say 6.5x plus 8.5y greater than equal to 7.30, what does this mean to me? Because my question is, what is x less than 0.18? So I have to somehow remove this y. How do I remove this y? This y has to be removed from the information that is given to me. That's it. And now you have to simply solve it. So let's say 6.5x plus 8.5, y is nothing but 1 minus x greater than 7.30. So that is nothing but 6.5x plus 8.5 minus 8.5x greater than equal to 7.30. Now 6.5x minus 8.5x, it becomes minus 2x greater than 7.30 minus 8.50 will become what? Negative 1.20. That is nothing but x is less than 0.6. If x is less than 0.6, x will surely be less than 0.8. So answer is going to be B. There's no logic involved. It's a normal calculations that you have to do in this question, if you understand the basics well. Agreed? Any problem here? Any problem here?
No
No.
problem.
Perfect. Can we do question number 11? This is a good one. A bit of thought is required here for sure. You can take 2 minutes. Try this, please. Do it aram se. Think easily. You're not supposed to rush up with this question. It's a nice question. It's all about how you visualize the question. It has got nothing to do with how you solve. It's absolutely visualization. So please try once. Okay. I don't think so, Varsha. Think again.
E.
Okay. Any answers, please?
I
So it
feel
says
it's
what?
E.
Yeah, let me check. So it says the distance between x and y is greater than distance of x and y is greater than distance of x and z. Simple, straightforward logic we have. Does G lie between x and y on the number line? This is what we are asked. But they have given us the distance between x and y is greater than distance between x and z. So does G lies between x and y on the number line? My first option is x, y, z less than 0. There's nothing more we can do because question is very straightforward. Does G lie between x and y or not? This is what is my question. So statement number 1 says x, y, z is less than 0. So when it can be less than 0? When x is negative, y is positive, z is positive. When x positive, y negative, z positive. When x, y positive, z negative. And when all three of them are negative. Straightforward logic. Agreed? Now let's draw a number line where it is 0. I'll place x over here. I'll plus y over here. I'll plus z over here. Can I say that I'm satisfying what is given to me in the question? The distance between x and y is greater than distance between x and z, right? I'm also satisfying x, y, z is less than 0. I've taken the first case, and here what I get, g lies between x and y. Agreed? Now, second situations, I'm taking now this second case where x is positive, y is negative, and z is positive. Imagine this is 0, this is y, this is x, and this is z. Can I say that I'm trying to satisfy the condition that is given to me in the question that distance between x and y is greater than distance between x and z? Yes or no? Right?
Yes.
But in this case, g does not lie between x and y. Simple, straightforward logic. So I have a yes situation where distance between x and y is greater than distance between x and z lies between x and y. I have a no situation where distance between x and y is greater than distance between x and z does not lie between x and y. So option number 1 is not sufficient, right? Option number 2 says what? xy less than 0. Look into this. We have played around just x and y. We have not even touched z at all. So if you look into this, xy is less than 0 because x is negative, y is positive, and distance between x and y is greater than distance between x and z. My condition in the question that is given to me is being satisfied. Z lie between x and y. Again, look here. If I take y negative, x positive, xy is negative, and my condition in the question is being satisfied that distance between x and y is greater than distance between x and z does not lie between x and y for sure. So I have a yes situation, I have a no situation. I can say this is not sufficient, straightforward. Even if you combine both, you see that I have only played around with x and y. I have not even touched g at all. So you should get answer E. Anyone who didn't follow this? Sapna, is this fine? Varsha, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Ankit? Bhaskari, all clear now? Sanskriti, all clear?
Yes,
Yash, any problem?
clear.
Perfect. So can we go? I think we have done all the questions this side. We'll just do 2 or 3 questions and then we go to CR section. So on a very weird question is this, but it is all about how you understand the language. It has got nothing to do with how much maths you know, how much maths you don't know. There's one logic behind it that 1.5 in GMAT will always round to 2 and 1.4 will round to 1. So 0.5 always rounds to the greater number. Can you please try question number 7? It's all about the language of a question. It has got nothing to do with your math skills at all.
None of these.
So answer should be E, right?
E.
Okay. Anyone else? Please tell. Okay, Rahul. Anyone else?
E.
Perfect, yes. Darshana, Sparsh, what's the answer? Sarthak, your answer?
I
None of
I
these.
already said that the option is E.
Perfect. So it says that number x and y are not integers. The x is close to which integer? Option number 1 says 4 is the integer that is close to x plus y. So 4 is the integer that is close to x plus y means can I say x plus y lie between 3.5 and less than 4.5? Can I say this? Because see here, it says that x and y are not integer. They are not integer. The value of x is close to which integer? So it's option number 1 says 4 is the integer that is close to x plus y. It means x plus y 100% lie between 3.5 and 4.5 because x plus y
Right.
value can be 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, or the value of x plus y could be 4.4, 4.2, 4.3, 4.1, and all these values are close to integer 4. This is what they are trying to say. 4 is the integer that is close to x plus y. So x plus y lies between 3.5 and 4.5. Simple, straightforward logic. But what is my question? X is close to which integer? Now this gives you no understanding of what x is close to because what is given to me in the statement is about x plus y. So I can straight away say this statement is not sufficient. Right? So now it says 1 is the integer that is close to x minus y. So can I say in the same way x minus y lie between 0.5 and 1 and 1.5? Because x minus y can be 0.4, can be 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. It could be 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1. This will all be close to 1. Simple, straightforward logic. Am I right? But again, my question is x is close to which integer? And it is given to me x minus y is close to 1. So this is not sufficient. If it is not sufficient, now we combine. Combination of two equations is what? To solve those two equations. So these are two inequality equation given to you. If you add this, what you get? 2x less than equal to 4. And this is less than 6. That is, if you divide by 2, you get x less than equal to 2 and less than 3. So value of x can be 2.1. And this is close to integer 2. But value of x can also be equal to 2.9 and this is close to integer 3. So there are two different values. You are asked what is the value of x. Value of x is close to which integer? So technically it's a what type of a question? You should have one numeric value as an answer. So we are getting two values. X can be close to 2 also. If the value is 2.1, x can be close to 3 also if the value is 2.9. So I can say this is not sufficient. Answer is E. Perfect. Can we do one more questions and then we go to... Can we do question number 4, please? Simple question. Pretty simple one. Easy one, guys. Pretty simple question. Direct question. No information is given to you.
It's C.
Yeah.
C.
C.
Perfect. So it says what is m plus z greater than 0? Simple logic. M plus z can be greater than 0 when both are positive. That's it. It's a confirmed condition. If I prove m is greater than 0, z is greater than 0, I'm done. If I prove m is less than 0, z is less than 0, I'm done. Simple, straightforward logic. Now option number 1 says what? M is greater than 3z. M minus 3z is greater than 0. M is greater than 3z. I can say 100 is greater than 3 cross 10. That is 100 plus 10 is m plus z here is greater than 0. Simple. I can also say minus 10 is greater than 3 cross negative 20. But here negative 10, negative 20 is less than 0. So m plus z in this case is greater than 0. Yes situation. M plus z in this case is less than 0. No situation. I can say option number 1 is not sufficient. And the same logic goes with 4z minus m. So 4z is greater than m. I can say 4 into 100 is greater than 10. That is 100 plus 10 is greater than 0. I can also say 4 cross negative 10 is greater than minus 50. Because I have no idea about z and m. It just says 4z is greater than m. Can you conclude that m plus z is greater than 0? Maybe, may not be. So here it is minus 10 minus 50 less than 0. So in this case, m plus z is greater than 0. Yes situation. In this place, m plus z is less than 0. No situation. So I can say it is not sufficient for sure. Now we know that these two are not sufficient. So how do you combine this? Technically, now you are supposed to combine two equations. So how do you combine? You will simply try and solve those two equations. It's as simple as it is. So 4z minus m is greater than 0. That is nothing but if I add this, z is greater than 0. Now if I've got z greater than 0, from statement number 1 says what? That m is greater than 3z. So from statement number 1 I get, if z is greater than 0, statement number 1 says m is greater than 3z. Can I conclude m is also greater than 0? So if this is concluded, m plus z is greater than 0, c is a straightforward answer. Right? Any problem here? Anyone? Can we solve this question, please? Yeah,
So here,
please tell me.
do we have to take numbers every time? Because I'm not very good at selecting numbers. Usually I select very small numbers on either line, either sides of the number line, depending on the case needed.
It all depends. If you're getting, if you can ensure that you're getting the answers right, it's absolutely fine. You go ahead with the way you want to. There's no compulsion that you should take a number, but ensure that do not be confused while you're marking the answer. That's all. Numbers makes a job a bit easy. That's all.
Okay.
Rahul,
yeah.
In this question, like first expression m minus 3 is greater than 0. Now we are finding m plus z is greater than 0. Now we need not to put the values, saying that if the only one relation is there between two variables, then we cannot find the exact relation. So we can tell straight away that statement 1 is not sufficient.
Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine. No issues at all. It's all about that. See, if you're not considering the number when you're marking answer, there should be absolutely no ambiguity at all. That's what I'm trying to say you. Now you take number for your own convenience, or you may not take a number based on your convenience, but it's fine. That's absolutely okay. Till you are getting things right, there is no issues at all. Agreed, Rahul?
So how do you make it easy to choose numbers? How do I make it easy for myself to be? How do I make myself comfortable with taking numbers?
You'll have to practice that one, Bhaskari.
Practice,
There's no different
right?
way. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no different way. It says that m is greater than 3z. Now, I know that m is greater, m can be greater than 3z irrespective of m or z is positive or negative. That doesn't matter at all. And that's the reason I just simply choose number 3 into 100 is greater than 3 cross 10. Or minus 10 is greater than 3 cross minus 50. Doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
In this case, m plus z is greater than 0. M plus is greater than 3z. In this case, m plus z is less than 0. And still m is greater than 3z. That's all. So if there is no compulsion that you should be taking a number, it's all based on your own convenience as to what you feel for you. Just ensure that don't compromise with the answer. That's it. Can we try question number 3, please? Take 2 minutes. Last question and then we are going to CR.
C.
C. Okay.
It's A.
Okay.
Okay.
I think who has got C should try again once, please.
Yes, sir, it's A.
Perfect. So it says what? That PQRS is consecutive integer. P is less than Q is less than R is less than S. Is PR less than QS? I think I've told you yesterday, the more numbers of variables involved in the question, more complex the questions can get into. But the point is, there's a way they have given you very beautiful information saying that PQRS are consecutive integer. P is less than Q is less than R is less than S. Can I change my questions for sure? Can I say, it's saying that PQRS is a consecutive integer. They have given you an order. Can I say this is P? Q is nothing but equal to P plus 1. R is nothing but equal to P plus 2. S is nothing but equal to P plus 3. I can aram se do this, right? Any problem here? So can I change my entire question itself first of all? Because I'm not absolutely good with all the 4 variables in the question, because I'll have to take a good set of a number. I'll have to take positive set of a number. I'll have to take negative set of a number. I may have to take positive and negative combined set of a number. So for me, just to ensure that I don't play around with 4 variables, I try my best to change the question if at all it's possible. And it is possible here because it says is PR less than QS, and there are beautiful information given to you that they are consecutive integers, and they have given you the order of a number that P is less than Q is less than R is less than S. So I've just done Q is equal to P plus 1, R is equal to P plus 2, S is equal to P plus 3. So what I'll do is that I'll try and put all the values over here. Simple logic. So is P, R is what? P plus 2. I'm just trying to modify my question itself, nothing else at all. And Q is P plus 1. S is P plus 3. So can I say P square plus 2P is less than P square plus 3P plus P plus 3? So P square, so I can cancel it out. This is 4P, it comes here, it becomes minus 2P less than 3. I can change my question, is P greater than negative 3 by 2? This is my question. This is my new question now. Is P greater than negative 3 by 2? That's all. Agreed? This is my question. I've done nothing. I've just modified my question based on the information that has been given to me in the question. That's all. Now what I'm doing is that this is statement number 1, where PQ is less than RS. Or all I can try and do here is that put the value of PQRS and see that I'm getting P greater than negative 3 by 2 or not. Simple logic. So PQ is what? P plus 1. I'm solving statement number 1 now, which is less than P plus 2. And S is P plus 3. So here it is P square plus P less than P square plus 3P plus 2P plus 6. So P square cancels out. This is 5P and this is P. It comes here, it becomes minus 4P less than 6. That is nothing but P is greater than negative 6 by 4. Negative 6 by 4 is nothing but P is greater than negative 3 by 2. This is what I wanted. Is P greater than negative 3 by 2? When I solved statement number 1, I've got P greater than negative 3 by 2 sufficient. Right? Second statement says me that PS is less than QR. So P is there, S remains what? Just put the equation, put the values and check. S is P plus 3, which is less than Q and R. Q is P plus 1 into P plus 2. So that is nothing but P square plus 3P less than P square plus 2P plus P plus 2. So can I cancel out P square, P square? This is 3P and this is 3P. It will get cancelled out. You are not getting P greater than negative 3 by 2 from here. So this is not sufficient. Simple logic. If you have to do, you can do through this way. If you want to go ahead and take numbers, you can do that as well. It's all up to you. Agreed? Any problem here? Sarthak, how have you done it?
Yeah, I have done it exactly the same way. In the second one, it is coming 2 is greater than 0.
Yeah. So we are not getting that required what we wanted to get, that P is greater than negative 3 by 2. So we will not consider this at all.
Okay, but okay, I thought कि ये तो universal true है. So second option is also sufficient to
नहीं. Your
अच्छा,
job is to say that is p is greater than
P
negative
is greater
3
than
by
minus 3
2.
by 2. मतलब यहाँ
Anyone
पर
who has
P
taken numbers?
5 भी हो सकता था.
Perfect.
हम्म.
Anyone who has taken numbers?
I have taken numbers.
What are the number you have taken? Did you get the same answer?
Yes, I have taken 5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1 second. Let me check if you can take the number or not. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 is less than 6 is less than 7 is less than 8. Option number 1 says what? PQ is less than RS. Perfect. This is one thing that you have taken. It's fine. So for this, you have got PR less than QS.
Yes.
Huh. Absolutely. And for second one?
Second one also PS 8 was the 40. That is also
What are the values you have taken? Tell me first.
5,
Second one, you
6.
will be confused for sure. Because you have to take a number where PS is less than QR, remember. You can't take 1, 2, 3, 4. So PS is what? 1 into 4, which is less than 2 into 3. Yeah, you can take this number for sure. You'll have to create a yes or no situation, 100%. So we are almost done with all the questions of data sufficiency. 1, 2, 3.
One more doubt I had, a simple
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So when we take like this PQRS consecutive numbers, like I said, I usually avoid taking numbers, but just in case, if instead of taking 1, 2, 3, 4, in case we take -2, -1, 1, 2,
Anything
is 0
you can
supposed to be considered or not in such a scenario? I always get that doubt. So basic doubts these are.
But why will you not consider 0?
So it should be
This is
-2,
0, this is
-1, 0, 1.
-1,
How
this
does
is
it go? Because there are
-2,
4 numbers here.
Oh, so this is a consecutive number. -1, 0, 3, 2, 3.
So I'll consider -2, -1, 0, and 1.
Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, everything. 0 is a number. Please understand.
So I don't jump 1, right?
Never.
Jump 0, right? Okay.
Never, ever.
Okay, see, I have such very basic doubts sometimes. Okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's
Thank
okay.
you.
But you get it clear, please. Don't keep all these
Okay.
doubts. We are
Suppose they
left.
consider consecutive even numbers. In that case,
Yeah, 0 is even.
I should consider 0. It will
Yeah,
be
0,
-4,
2.
-2, 0 to 4.
Even number means 2, 1, 2. Even number means 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, all these things.
Yeah, so if I consider consecutive numbers, so if I'm taking it on either side of the number line, I should take 0 also into account,
No,
right?
but they will not say you ki even take even number and take negative number. Even number, primary number, these are all negatives and all positive.
All
So
positive.
one people asked me like, Rahul, how is 3 a prime number? And I got really mad about it. Mad in the sense even I was like, I didn't know. She was like, Rahul, 3 is divisible by 1.5. And I got in a doubt. Yeah, it is actually divisible by 1.5. But uh, prime numbers, these are all always an integral value, never a non-integral value.
Okay, why? Because when I was solving one of the questions, I came across the situation where I had to consider consecutive even numbers.
Yeah, then
And
that
the
is
entire
fine.
problem became much easier when I considered it on either side of the number line. Because
No.
the
You should not.
terms were getting cancelled and I arrived at the right answer much faster. But then this one small doubt cropped into my mind after I solved it. So I was
No.
like, oh
Even
God, what do
numbers
I do?
means even number, odd number, these are all positive, never negative.
Okay.
So we are left with one question number 6 over here. We can do it in the next class, no issues at all. Well, let's start with CR a bit. I'm just
Now, do
saying
you
which.
have more questions like
Yep.
of any?
I'll give you. I'll tell you also, don't worry. I'll give you all the extra questions. I'm just checking which are the questions that are left in data sufficiency.
Sixth one.
Except 6, I think we are done with all. Perfect. We'll do 6th one in the next class plus problem solving. So please see here. 6th one we can finish in the next class and problem solving. But please understand, now when you do problem solving, it will be like a cakewalk for you. I can tell you. It is an absolutely like a cakewalk. Every questions will look very easy to you. So what we'll do in the next class, guys, is that we'll finish from next class, complete Saturday we'll dedicate to maths and complete Sunday to verbal. So in next class, what we will be doing is we'll finish the inequality, and then we'll start little bit of the absolute value, because inequality and absolute value are very similar topic. I'll send you the entire handout of absolute value properly. You just go and read it, look into the videos also. Try doing all the questions of absolute value. Once you are done with inequality and absolute value, Rahul, I'll give you extra questions to solve. Okay. I'll give you all the extra questions to solve. But now before I give you extra questions, so next week I'll be giving you all the extra questions after starting with the absolute value. So what we can do is that, because inequality and absolute value are exactly the same thing, it's just that in place of xy greater than 0, they'll put mod xy greater than 0. That's it. And the entire scenario of the question changes. So what we are going to do in the next Saturday's class of math, we'll finish the inequality, whatever is left out, and we'll also start with the absolute value, because finishing inequality will take hardly maximum 1.5 hours. So we can 100% start with a bit of absolute value. I'll send you the homework, the entire absolute value handout, plus the videos of what needs to be done before you come for the next class. And that's all we can do for maths. Once we are done with absolute value and inequality, I'll give you the extra questions to solve. But before you solve extra questions, I just want that be very clear with the questions that we have discussed in the handout. And if you are 100% clear with it, just give me a call, ask me extra questions. I'll give it to you anyway. I don't want you to wait till we finish the absolute value. But before you jump on the extra questions, ensure that whatever questions we have given to you in handout should be 100% very clear to you. Agreed? So this is all about maths. From next class. Saturday we'll dedicate completely to quant section, and Sunday we'll dedicate completely to verbal section. So in verbal, let's discuss a bit about verbal section. It's a very interesting thing. Critical reasoning is very interesting, considering you will have to pay a bit of attention. One sec. So come down to the verbal sections. I'm not anyway starting CR. We'll start it in the next class for sure. But I just wanted to explain you what verbal in GMAT is all about. So see here. In verbal, we'll have, guys, 23 questions in the exam. And you will have 45 minutes. So we'll be getting 1.67 minutes per question. That's all. Nothing more. So out of these 23 questions, there are only 2 things that are asked in GMAT verbal. Now, that is, one is critical reasoning. That is called CR. And the other is reading comprehension. That you have, so you can expect 100%, you will expect 4 passages you can expect in the exam with 3 questions each. And rest, that is 12 questions of RC you will have. And you will have 11 questions of CR in the exam. So please understand, there is no sentence correction now. This was a very daunting topic. It used to almost take 1.5 months to have a hold of sentence correction. But one beautiful thing about sentence correction was that when you have a hold of sentence correction, you used to be very confident that now things will be absolutely fine. You will have a complete control on one section. But technically, now there is no sentence correction. It's only critical reasoning and reading comprehension. So before we go ahead and proceed in this, can you please tell me what is the difference between critical reasoning and reading comprehension? Anyone? What do you feel? What is the difference between critical reasoning and reading comprehension? This needs to be understood very well, because CR is supposed to be the toughest topic of GMAT, critical reasoning. But again, it's all about how beautifully you think on the question. That's all. It's all about perspective that we will build, that we build upon in the class. So first, before we go ahead and start what is critical reasoning and what is reading comprehension, any one of you can tell me what is the difference between critical reasoning and reading comprehension? If someone of you have been through CR and RC both.
May I?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so this is just my 2 cents here. So reading comprehension, from what I've understood, is you'll have a lot of things in that paragraph. We need to, it tests our capacity to pick out the relevant data, make quick, important notes, and be able to kind of filter the essential details out of that, what was given there. So, and critical reasoning, it tests us in our capacity to figure out the premise, what are they trying to say exactly, make sure that person whatever is saying from his point of view, his or her point of view, what are their assumptions, and if we are having the same assumptions about their assumptions, and then arrive at the right inference. So reading comprehension, if it they kind
You have
of
used a word assumptions, you have used a word inference. No. When you are doing
so
CR, you should be extremely cautious about the word that you utter from your mouth or the word that you write. Extremely important. So see, I'll
okay.
just tell you the basic difference between critical reasoning and reading comprehension. So in critical reasoning, why critical reasoning is supposed to be toughest topic, guys, I'll just tell you, because while you are answering the questions in CR, while you are answering the questions in critical reasoning, you are essentially trying to respond, you are responding to a situation that's given to you in the argument. That's given to you in argument. So argument is nothing but a passage. I'll just show you what critical reasoning is. So critical reasoning is nothing like, let's say this is a small argument. This is a small passage that is given to you. Based on your reading of the passage, you need to answer the question. So this small passage is called as an argument. It is not called a passage. Please understand. I'll clear it very properly in the class of CR what an argument is all about. And that's the reason. So when I say argument, it doesn't mean anything else. It just means a passage of critical reasoning. So I can say it as a passage, but saying passage is not a right job, because argument has some very different sense. Passage has some very different sense. So when I'm saying you, what is the difference between CR and RC? I'm telling you, while you are marking the answer in critical reasoning, you respond to the answer, you respond to a situation that is given to you in the argument. Simple logic. While you are marking the reading comprehension, while you are marking the answer in RC, while you are marking answers in reading comprehension, you essentially accept the information from the passage. This is called as passage. Accept the information from the passage while you are answering the question. So if your acceptance is all right, you will not do wrong in reading comprehension for sure. If you understand what the passage is trying to say you, what author is trying to essentially say you from the passage, and the structure of a passage should be very fine. The challenge comes in critical reasoning that your understanding will be super clear when you read the argument. When you read the argument, you will most likely 90% of the time you will understand the argument. The point is, if you do not understand, no one in the world will be able to help you, because no one in the world can tell you how should you read and how should you understand. This no one can teach you. It's all on individual stuff as to how big reader you are or less reader you are. That doesn't matter, but be very sure in argument of critical reasoning, there is not one single argument given to you which you will not be able to understand. A normal reader can understand the argument for sure. But the catch is, in critical reasoning, you essentially try and respond to a situation presented to you in the argument. The reason that critical reasoning is tough, because your response can be completely haywire, can be completely out of scope. So critical reasoning simple means that, imagine a situation is presented front of you. I'm not telling it an argument right now. I'll come down to this. A situation is presented front of you. A situation is presented front of you. And based on this situation, they ask you a question. And you have to 100% answer, give your answer based on the situation presented front of you. Now imagine I'm giving you a situation. I think I've given to all of you. Imagine there is an electricity problem in your home. Electricity problem in your home, or let's say the road front of your home is not good. Now you go and straight away tweet to the Prime Minister office, Prime Minister of a country, that PM Modi or central government is responsible for no electricity in my home. Will you ever get electricity back? Think about it once. Are you acting based on the situation that has been presented in front of you? There is an electricity problem in your home, or let's say the road front of your home is completely gone, it's bad, and you straight away go and tweet to the Prime Minister of a country. Do you really feel it's a relevant thing to do, or do you actually feel it's a right thing that you have done? So please understand, guys, there is nothing called right or wrong answer. If there is any friend of yours who's completely left winger, according to him, you have done the best job, the best thing. But technically, the way you responded to the situation that was presented in front of you, it is completely beyond the scope of an argument, completely beyond the scope of a situation. So what is the thing that needs to be done over here? You please go to your municipality and raise a complaint over there. It's better that you please go to your municipality, raise your complaint over there. Your home problem, electricity problem will be solved. Even if the road that is bad front of you, so you have to reach to the responsible guy. You have to ensure that your action should be 100% based on the situation. You cannot go and act in a completely haywire manner that Prime Minister Modi or central government or Congress government is responsible for it. No one is going to care about you. So critical reasoning, the entire essence of critical reasoning is how you act based on the situation that has been presented in front of you. So what happens in critical reasoning is that author gives you a situation. Okay. Author presents a situation in front of you. Authors present a situation front of you. And this situation, what author has presented, is called as an argument. Simple. So argument, how will author present a situation? So when author is writing an argument, be very sure author will put some facts over here. And then based on those facts, author will present his masses over here. Author will try and conclude. Conclusion is nothing but final say of the author. I'll come down to every point, don't worry. Final say of the author. So facts are nothing but premise. So an argument, what is an argument? First of all, an argument means that author is trying to present his masses, whatever author wants to say. Now imagine if I wants to say that Sarthak would get into Harvard. Let's say I am presenting a situation, Sarthak would get in Harvard Business School. So before I say Sarthak would get into Harvard Business School, don't you feel that I'll have to present a lots of facts about Sarthak? I can't directly conclude Sarthak would get into Harvard Business School, no? How will any third person understand this? Now I'll have to present a situation here that Sarthak is a maths Olympiad topper, he's a university topper, he's a gold medalist. All those facts I'll present, and then I'll try and conclude what I want to say about him. A message that I want to give about Sarthak is that yes, he would get into Harvard. So please understand, any critical reasoning argument, I'm now calling it an argument directly, no passes and all. Any critical reasoning argument consists of facts and consists of conclusion. Facts is also called as premise, and conclusions are nothing but a final say of the author. The point is ki how author tries to present a message to you. Author tries to give a lots of fact. Based on the fact, author is trying to give a final message to you. So please ensure in an argument, it will always consist of facts, always consist of a conclusion. Imagine when I say Rahul is a good guy. So this is just a fact. This is not an argument. But when I say Rahul is a good guy, so he would get an HBS. Now this is an argument. Rahul is a good guy is a fact. And based on this fact, I have presented a conclusion. Final, what I want to say about Rahul. So I would say Rahul is a good guy. He's a gold medalist. He's a university topper. And that's the reason who he would get into Harvard. So please ensure in any critical reasoning arguments, you have facts, you have conclusion. An argument cannot be called if you remove that, so he would get into Harvard. This is not an argument now. Now this is a normal fact. But when I put this, that Rahul is a good guy and he would get into Harvard, this entire stuff is called an argument. So what happens in critical reasoning, guys, that there's an argument presented front of you. There's an argument presented front of you. An argument consists of what? Facts and conclusion. Now, can anyone tell me what is difference between facts and conclusion? How can you create a what's the difference between facts and conclusion? Anyone? According to you, what's the difference between facts and conclusion? Please keep answering, because in critical reasoning, it is very important to understand the wordings that you are using. You cannot simply use assumptions. You cannot simply use word called inference. And until you don't speak, I'll not be able to rectify it. So in critical reasoning class, please respond. If I ask you, what is the difference between facts and conclusion?
Facts
Anyone?
support conclusion.
That's the rule of fact technically. How do you differ? How can you create a difference? What exactly you feel? So facts are something which are never debatable. You cannot debate on it.
Facts are like some data specific, like
Yep.
some.
Yep, you cannot debate on it. When you say that Rahul has got 716 GMAT, this is fact. You cannot debate on it because this is my score. I'll show you my score. When I say I've got 99 marks out of 100 in math, you can't debate upon it. But conclusions are always debated. Always. 100% remember, facts always leads to conclusion. Never a vice versa thing. Conclusion never leads to facts at all. So facts are something which is always non-debatable. If I say Jana is studying in St. Xavier's College, Calcutta, this is a fact. But if I say Jana, because Jana is studying in St. Xavier's College in Calcutta, and she is supposed to be a very brilliant student. So when I say she is supposed to be a very brilliant student, that is a conclusion. So when I say that she is supposed to be a very brilliant student, Sarthak, you can 100% debate upon it. Rahul, how the hell can you say this? Just because someone is studying in St. Xavier's College, it doesn't mean she is supposed to be a brilliant student. That's a simple logic. So conclusions are something which we can always debate upon it. Always debate upon it. Facts are something which is non-debatable. So whenever you try and present a message to someone about to anyone, you always ensure you don't realize it, but you always ensure that there are some facts that you are presenting, and based on your facts, you are trying to conclude something for sure. If Raghuram Ranjan is trying to say that India would become a developed nation by 2050, he cannot say India would become a developed nation by 2050 directly. He will have to give a sort of a review that what has been the economic development of India from 2015 to 20, 2020 to 30. Now it is happening this 2030 and 40. India is expected to do this. And based on all this figure that he present, he would give a conclusion that India would become a 20 developed nation by 2050. So please ensure conclusions are something which can always be debated upon. Facts are something that can never ever be debated upon. Never ever. So any critical reasoning question that you are solving, any critical reasoning, irrespective of whatever, maybe easy question, maybe a tough question, doesn't matter. The first thing that in any critical reasoning question that you have to do, the first thing is that you have to ensure that you know what are facts in the argument very clearly, and you know what is conclusion in the argument. Because if you do not understand what is the conclusion of the argument, 99.9% you will end up solving question wrong. Be very sure about it. And if you can understand what is conclusion of the argument, 70% of CR question is done. And please ensure conclusion may be the first line, it may be the middle line. Usually it is placed in the last, but it could be anywhere in the argument. That should never be a botheration. It's all about how beautifully you read and how you try and define that this is a conclusion. A lot of time it happens when we do a lot of critical reasoning question, a lot of time it will happen that you read an argument that is presented front of you. You will have a very beautiful understanding about the argument, and you will straight away get into the question. But trust me, that is the most disaster way to do the questions in critical reasoning. If you have not identified the conclusion, there is an absolutely no way that you going to the questions would make any sense for you. You can go for your own satisfaction, but 90% of the time you will end up marking a wrong answer. Be very sure about it. And it's a very interesting topic. I'll tell you exactly how should you be reading CR. Don't worry at all. But first thing in CR, in any type of a critical reasoning question that you solve, our first job should be to understand, to identify what the exact conclusion is. Once we identify conclusion, rest everything remains a fact in the argument. Our first job is to ensure that facts and conclusions should be known to you, whatever the fact is presented, whatever the conclusion is presented. So what happens in critical reasoning question, guys, there's an argument given to you, and based on your reading of this argument, an argument means what? There's facts and there is one conclusion. Conclusion is nothing but this is the final say of the author, what author wants to say you. And how does author wants to show you? By presenting different facts. Author is trying to conclude that this is Rahul is a good guy, he's a university topper, he's a gold medalist, so I feel that he would get into Harvard. So when you say he's a good guy, he's a gold medalist, he's a university topper, these are all fact. You can't debate upon it. He has all the certificates with him. But based on this, author is trying to say that based on all these factual information that I have presented about Rahul, I can 100% conclude that he would get into Harvard. But again, that conclusion can be 100% challenged. You can 100% challenge that there are more than 100,000 universities around the world, and he's the topper of one simple university, one normal university in India. How can you say that he would get into Harvard? So conclusion is something which is always debatable. Facts are something which is never debatable. So our first job is to understand in any critical reasoning question is to identify what is the conclusion of the argument. And once the conclusion of the argument is identified, rest all the things in the argument remains as a fact. So what happens in critical reasoning question, guys? You are given an argument. Now, based on this argument, there are different types of a question that can be asked in CR. Different types of a questions that can be asked in CR. And what are those types? So here, the first is assumptions. Second is evaluate. Third is strengthen. Fourth is weaken. And then you have flaw. Then you have complete the passes completion. Then you have paradox. Then you have boldface. I'm just trying to say you what are the types of a question that can come in the CR. And then there is the inference topic. I can tell you there is nothing more that could be asked in critical reasoning for sure. Whatever you can tell me ki Rahul, conditional reasoning will also come. Conditional reasoning is a part of inference. That is not a separate topic of a critical reasoning. Be very sure about it. A lot of people talks about conditional reasoning and all, but that's a part of an inference question. That has got no separate topic. So ensure one thing, guys. So assumptions is the first topic that we'll discuss in the next class. Today, I didn't start assumptions because I don't know how many people of you have studied or not. I just want to give you very clear instructions as to what you should be studying so that reading critical reasoning will become very fun. It is not tough at all. It might be because it will challenge your thought process. That's the one frustration that you will have. But I'll tell you how should you be going about it. So assumptions is the first topic that we'll be discussing in the class. And evaluate is the second topic. I can 100% promise you with my experience that if you are not good in assumptions and evaluate both, not one. If you are not good in assumptions and evaluate both, there is no point of you studying critical reasoning at all. You will not be good in anything. No one single topic you will be good at, I can tell you for sure. 100% you have to ensure that assumptions and evaluate are the two topics which you should be 100% good in critical reasoning. If these are the two topics you are not good at, doing all the other thing is simply waste of your time. You are trying to satisfy yourself that I'm studying, but technically you are not doing anything at all. Because assumptions and evaluate is related to all the other topics of critical reasoning except for inference. It's a very different thing, all in all. We'll discuss about it very properly. You don't have to worry about it. But remember, your accuracy in critical reasoning is 100% directly proportional to reading comprehension. If you are not good in critical reasoning, reading comprehension is anyway gone. Because the type of a question that would be asked in reading comprehension is not even 0.1% different. Whatever questions you are asked in critical reasoning, the same type of a questions will be asked in reading comprehension. In fact, if you ask me, in reading comprehension, there are only two types of questions according to me. I classify the entire questions in two types. One is primary purpose of the passage. Primary purpose of the passage, or you can say gist of the passage or a key idea about the passage. Rest all other type of questions, I can tell you it is an inference question in reading comprehension. So critical reasoning needs to be really, really good. If you want to have a good command in even reading comprehension, be very sure about it. It is not just critical reasoning you are studying. If you are good with critical reasoning, I have absolutely no doubt to believe why will you not be good with RC. Because in critical reasoning, the thought process that is required to mark an answer, it will always challenge you. You will see that entire argument is very well understood to you, but it might happen that you may not come down to the right answer. You may absolutely not come down to the right answer. So critical reasoning is a very interesting topic, guys. If you read it properly in the way it is expected from you, I'll tell you exactly how it needs to be done. And if you don't go in that way, trust me, it'll become a very, very frustrating stuff. So one thing, again, there are some stuff that I just want to clear with you today itself. In critical reasoning, what happens? So how should you try and solve critical reasoning? Imagine you have solved 20 questions, out of which 18 are wrong and 2 are right. It is not a point to be bothered at all. It is absolutely no point. There should be no botherations at all. The reason is pretty simple. You try and solve a critical reasoning question. Let's say you have an argument based on this. There's a question. You have 5 options: A, B, C, D, E. Let's say you marked answer D, and the right answer is B. Now, please understand, you be CEO, you be CTO, you be CXO. It doesn't matter at what position you are working. If you have marked answer wrong, it is wrong for sure. Never ever try and challenge the right answer. Be very sure about it, or else you will not be changing your thought process. That's the whole point. If you have marked answer D and it says that answer D is wrong, I'm trying to say you be CEO, you be CTO, you be CXO, you be the most ferocious reader you are. It just does not matter. If they have told D is the wrong answer, official guide questions, I'll try my best to take all the official guide questions. That is something that cannot be challenged. So your reasoning should never be the answer that you have marked. Why is that not right? That is never right. Just be very sure if it is written, it's not right, it's not right. So your thought process should be to understand why is this wrong. Absolutely don't have your ego front of you if you get something wrong. Absolutely no. Your simple logic is why is this answer wrong and why the right answer is right. This should be your thought process in CR. Any other thought process in CR, you be very sure that you will screw it up. And in critical reasoning, what happens that imagine you have marked answer D, which is wrong for sure, and the right answer is B. Now, what people tend to do is that once they see that answer is wrong, they straight away go and read the explanation as to why answer is wrong. But this is a recipe to disaster. In critical reasoning, specifically, if you read the explanation, you will never have your own thought process of why B is right and D is wrong. You have read someone else's explanation, you have accepted it. You even don't realize that it is exactly making sense to you or not. So please don't do that. You mark wrong answer, that is not a botheration, I'm telling you, in first, at least for next 20-30 days for sure. But the point is simple. You have to think, why is this wrong? Why the option number D is wrong? Why option number B is right? Until you don't have one reasoning of your own, you should not read the explanation. If you read the explanation, you may have this very false understanding. I've understood it very beautifully, but technically you have not understood it. Any such type of a questions in future, you are bound to do wrong. So in critical reasoning, please don't read the explanation. 100%, you are not supposed to read the explanation until you have one reasoning from your end. I understand what I'm telling is absolutely not going in your head, but we'll do it from the next class for sure. We'll start with assumptions very fresh, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to study. I'll tell you very properly, but please study, because if you do not study in critical reasoning and come to the class, you will really be frustrated. But if you study a bit also and come to the class, I promise I'll make critical reasoning very entertaining for you. And the questions that I put in the handout, I'll just tell you exactly. The questions that I put in the handouts are very thoughtful questions. These are not the questions that I've simply put to teach you. No. I'll ensure that I solve less number of questions, but I'll ensure that I read every argument front of you, and I'll make sure as to why the answers are right, why the answers are wrong, with a very clear reasoning. So that is one thing which is extremely important for you to understand. So what I can do for critical reasoning is that I've sent you a mail. I'm just telling you again what you need to study before you come for the class. But please do study. You don't worry at all. You let you leave everything on me. But what I'm asking you to do for critical reasoning, please do that. Rest, I'll take care of it in a very proper way. And I can't give you the videos of critical reasoning because if you look into the videos, the entire thought process will go. It's all about the game of your thought process. That's it. So imagine this is the mails that I have sent to you. I've told you very clearly how should you proceed ahead with the critical reasoning. Step number 1, read page number 1 to 23 assumptions theories from CR concept book attached in the email. Now this is a place where I've attached a CR concept book. You are supposed to read from page number 1 to 23. That's it. I've told you very clearly, I've written to you over here that 10 questions each from exercise 1, 2, 3 from CR concept book. Please do that. I've very clearly mentioned it over. Do not touch exercise 4 and 5. If you touch and you go mad about it, I'm not responsible for it. So I've told you right now, I'll tell you when you have to do all these exercises. So once done reading till page number 23, do all the questions of critical reasoning session 1 handout attached in the email. So this is a handout, guys, which we'll be discussing in the next class completely. So I have not taught you anything about CR at all. I'll be starting right in the first class with the assumptions topic as to what critical reasoning is, what exactly you understand by assumptions. So if I ask you any one thing, what exactly you mean by assumptions? Anyone? What is the meaning of assumptions? And in critical reasoning, you have to speak, because until you don't speak, I will be clueless. And you have to keep speaking, because only then I get to understand, are you speaking right thing or wrong thing? Because in critical reasoning, the word that you utter from your mouth is extremely important. Important from the perspective that whether you should be, because very normally I've seen people using a word assumptions, inference, that Rahul, I can assume this, I can infer this, but you have to understand. So if I ask you, what do you mean by assumptions? Imagine, what is the meaning of assumptions? Anyone? What can you explain me what an assumptions is? What exactly it is? I think all of you might have read a bit for sure. If I have to just, you have to just define in 2 or 3 words.
Well,
Bridge between the facts, the premises, and the conclusion.
so
It
it's
completes.
Possible outcomes.
Technically, it is not bridge between premise and conclusion. For that's for a very diplomatic answer, to be very frank, Sarthak. But imagine, guys, I'll do everything in the next class for sure. But it's a very entertaining thing. Imagine if I say everyone above 18 years can vote. So Rahul can vote. Imagine if this is a statement given to you, Rahul can vote. So what is an assumptions over here?
That Rahul is more than
18 years, right?
perfect.
Right. So do you think it's a bridge, or it's a well-established thing? What exactly it is? So they have told very in a diplomatic way, ki assumptions is a bridge that connects facts and conclusion. But technically, I don't believe on that logic for sure, Sarthak. To me, assumptions is just 2 wording, hidden facts. That's it.
It's probably something like
It's a
it's
hidden
a
fact.
hypothesis taken for granted in a
No.
statement, in
What do you
argument.
mean? What do you mean by hypothesis? You're bringing some third word over here.
No,
What is
it's
the
a
meaning of
general.
hypothesis?
That's probably a word we use commonly in the
No, you
lab. Probably
should
that's
not.
why
You
it's
should
coming
not.
like that.
You should not. But still, tell me, what is the meaning of hypothesis?
Okay, see, hypothesis is something that you have a statement and you have
Just
a
define
truth behind it.
hypothesis. Just define hypothesis. That's all.
Okay, so see, hypothesis is a statement where you have based on any evidence, you have a explanation made for it.
No.
So
Please
you have,
understand,
so you can.
hypothesis. No, then. But here, a hypothesis is something which is followed but never proved. So you go to the temple, you ask a lot of things for yourself from a god, but it's a
Yeah,
never
it's not
proved
true.
thing.
Yeah, I
So
never said that it is
that's
true.
what again I'm telling you. So when you
That is why
say,
I said it's taken
please
for granted.
understand. That's the reason I'm telling you, when you say it is not proved, it means it's not a fact.
Yeah, it's
Simple
taken
logic.
for granted. Yes.
It's not about taken for granted. That is for you. That is not for a literature.
Hmm.
Hypothesis is not a fact. So assumptions means hidden facts. What is the role of a fact in the argument?
Okay, so it's a fact. Okay.
What is the role of a fact in the argument? To support conclusion.
Support conclusion.
Please, you speak out. Don't feel bad about what I say. Never ever feel bad about whatever I say. I'll try and correct it as much as I can. So point is, there's a very thin line definition that gives you that assumptions is something that bridges the gap between facts and conclusion. But that is also crap, I think. I personally feel here, Sharthak, ki assumptions is a hidden facts. And when you say facts, it does not mean it is trying to bridge. It means that by default, a consideration should be done that Rahul is above 18 years. Imagine if I have written the statement, everyone above 18 years can vote, Rahul can vote. On what basis author has concluded Rahul can vote? He might have concluded on the basis by knowing 100% that Rahul is above 18 years. So please understand, assumptions are something which are backbone of an argument, but I will not get into the explanation of what an assumption is. We'll keep the next class completely. We'll dedicate all the 3 hours to assumptions, and please ensure that what I have asked you to read, you read. Come by reading, so that we'll be able to speak in the class. And because in verbal class, if you don't speak, entire it is all wasted. I'm telling you, you don't have to at all bother what you're speaking is right, what you're speaking is wrong, because there is nothing called right and wrong in literature. Please understand, it's all about
So
perspective.
here I have a doubt. So when you say assumptions are hidden facts, I get that point why you're saying that. But haven't there be wrong assumptions where it's led to wrong conclusions as well? So
It means
how
you
does
have, you
that
know,
go?
that means you have a wrong facts only front of you. Now, if you know the fact, if you already, like, let's say, imagine there's a factual information saying that Neil Armstrong has landed on the moon, right? But there are a lot of people who don't believe this. If you go to Russia, no one believes this. It's like all crap what America has done. So if you consider wrong fact with yourself, you'll end up getting a wrong assumptions only. No, it is all about what facts are you considering for any argument. Simple sa logic.
So
So
if something
point
is
is,
wrong, how can we consider it as a fact?
what something is wrong. Please understand, whatever argument is given to you in passage, okay?
Mm.
Whatever argument is given to you in the passage, if it is written that sun rises in the west, for that particular argument, you have to believe that
Then
sun
it is
rises
the
in the west.
best.
Yep.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
whatever argument is given to you in the exam is non-challengeable. You cannot challenge the argument. You cannot bring up your own sort of information saying that no, Rahul, according to me, sun rises in the east. No. If the argument says sun rises in the west, it means for that particular argument, you have to consider sun rises in the west. There's nothing called wrong assumptions, right assumptions. Assumptions are based on the fact that has been presented front of you. So if a wrong
Okay.
facts has been presented front of you, you will have a wrong assumptions. That's all.
Okay.
There's
Done.
nothing called right assumptions and wrong assumptions. We will understand what exactly an assumption is. So before we get into this, I just request you to please go ahead and read the CR concept book. And 100%, guys, this is a critical reasoning session, one handout assumptions. It's already attached in the email that has been sent to you. I'll attach this today also, no issues at all. 100% you should ensure that you will solve all the 9 questions by yourself. Let your answers be wrong or right, that doesn't matter at all. Let it be wrong and right, because in class, if I start giving you time to read the argument, the entire class timing will be wasted. So all I want that read page number 1 to 23 from CR concept book. I have not taught anything regarding the critical reasoning now. And trust me, I'm like one of the best in critical reasoning. I can ensure that your critical reasoning will be good, but I can only make it entertaining till the time you study and come. If I give you time to study this entire argument and solve the questions in the class, you will start taking 20 minutes to read the argument and solve the questions in the class. I'll have no time to discuss. So I want to focus on complete answer sheets. So entire 3 hours will be taken. The next class, entire 3 hours will be discussing why chances are wrong, why chances is right, what has been your perspective, what is my perspective. Everything will be very properly taken care of, considering you please ensure that attempt all the 9 questions given to you by yourself. Whatever your answer is, wrong or right, that doesn't matter at all. But just ensure that I will not give you time to read the argument in the class. I'll ensure just take 2 minutes, review your answer, and then we'll start our discussion. Or else just doing 4 questions, it will take me 3 hours if you start reading the argument in the class. So ensure that I'll read the argument. You please ensure solve all the 9 questions before you come for the next class. Read page number 1 to 23 from CR concept book. And CR concept book, the book that I have given, trust me, it is not boring at all. It is one of the best thing that you will be reading for critical reasoning. I promise, anything that could be more interesting in after CR Bible is this book what I have given to you. Absolutely classic book. CR Bible is 1000 page. You will never study in your life. I can write it off. I can write it off. You will not study in your life, however much any people tell you to study CR Bible. In fact, I have studied CR Bible completely, but there's so many rules and regulations that are given in CR Bible, you will literally go mad. So you don't have to study CR Bible. Trust on the book that I have given you. This is one of the most entertaining book you can study for critical reasoning. But just follow what I'm asking you to do. If you start doing exercise 4 and 5, I'm not responsible. So don't do exercise 4 and 5. Read concept book till page number 23. Have a great understanding, and you are not supposed to read only one time. Please keep both this book with yourself. You can read as many times as possible. The more you read, the better understanding would come. So these are not a math that once you read, understood the concept, move on. There's nothing called move on in verbal. Everything will be super concept. Everything will be very clear conceptually, I can tell you, in verbal. But it's all about how much we practice. And from next week, I'll ensure that once we are done with the assumptions question, I'll give you some 100 assumptions questions to solve. I'll tell you exactly how should you be solving it. Everything I'll ensure that I get it done for you. But please ensure in critical reasoning class, if you do not come by studying and if you do not speak, if you keep silent, you are at a loss. Anything you want to speak, you speak. Until you don't speak, you won't understand. It's a simple logic. Agreed?
Yes.
So let's start critical reasoning from the next class for sure. So we have for math, I'll just explain you what needs to be done. For quant section, I'll send you an email with today's video. So we'll be solving questions of inequality in the next class, Saturday. Plus we'll be starting with absolute value also, because, and you have to, so what will be your job till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, till Wednesday, you can 100% practice more of inequality question. But to practice more of inequality question, if someone who is done with the complete inequality questions, please ping. Once you are done with the handout question, ensure that you ping me on WhatsApp or call me directly. I'll send you the extra questions. I have no issues with it. But I want, until you are 100% sure about the handout, doing extra question is absolutely waste of time. Till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, ensure that you try doing inequality. And I'll send you the videos of absolute value to watch before you come for the class, so that things will become very fine in the class. So from Thursday and Friday, you can watch absolute value video. And Saturday, we finish the entire inequality problem. Plus, we'll start with the absolute value little bit. At least I'll try to finish the entire story part, if not the problem. And that's, again, this is a very interesting chapter. I'll send you the entire videos also, nothing to worry about. And then guys, for Sunday, we'll have complete assumptions topic discussed in the class. Please study, please read it, because till you don't read, you won't be able to speak in CR class. I'm telling you, you read it and there will be a very good discussion. I can't send you assumptions videos, or else there will be no thought process of yours at all. So it's better first you try and solve it. Let's have a discussion directly in the class. Clear? Any problem? So can we close the session for today? From next class, we'll have complete Sunday for a verbal, complete Saturday for a quant session. Any problem? Any doubts? Well, we're done with it, no?
No, sir.
Anything to ask?
When you complete Saturday, Sunday, it's 2 to 5, right?
Yep. Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 5.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
And I'll send you the link on the Friday to join the class. I'm so sorry. I think a lot of people were asking me. Chalo phir. Bye. See you in the next class. Take care.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.